Hello, and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness for Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Please hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for supporting me. I'll make sure to have trigger warning down there as well. Matthew 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Matthew 18, verse 10. Take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use, nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips and balance in favor of fair use. Make sure to put up here trigger warning. Thanks everyone for coming. Rest in peace, Precious Elijah Vue. We'll never forget you. We were hoping and praying it would be a different outcome, but to our dismay. Without further ado, I'll bring this up. Please pray for me too. I've been in the hospital a couple times, so uh, first we're going to go over this timeline to remind us. A small Wisconsin town is continuing to search for a missing 3-year-old, which we already know the outcome. He vanished from his mother's boyfriend's home in Two Rivers on Tuesday, February 20th. He had been sent 150 miles away from home for disciplinary reasons, with details now showing that the little boy was subjected to lengthy timeouts and threats of cold showers if he misbehaved. Both Elijah's mother, Katrina Bauer, 31, and her boyfriend, Jesse Bank, 39, have been charged with chronic child neglect. As of Tuesday, 19th of March, the search. Okay, here's a timeline of Elijah's disappearance so far. On February 12th, Katrina Bauer leaves Elijah with Jesse Bain in Two Rivers, around 2.5-hour drive from her home in Wisconsin Dells. On February the 20th, 12th through the 20th, Elijah is allegedly subjected to discipline tactics by Mr. Bain, including standing timeouts, teaching him to pray, and threats of cold water if he misbehaves. Look at that precious little boy, y'all. He did not just. A photo is taken in the early hours on February 14th showing Elijah lying on a bed wearing a blindfold and with bruising on his face. Excuse me, this is hard, y'all. February 15th, another photo shows Elijah standing in a corner wearing just a diaper. It appears to be full and his hands are in the praying position. On the 16th of February, Manitowoc District Attorney alleges Elijah is left alone for about an hour in Manitowoc City while Mrs. Bauer and Mr. Vang are elsewhere. On the 18th, Mr. Vang tells Mrs. Bauer by a text message that he will teach Elijah not just to fear him, but to respect him too. Excuse me, it's going to be hard for anybody to respect you when you do this to a child. It's going to be blatant fear. February 20th, 7:30 a.m. Mr. Vang gets up to give Elijah breakfast, cereal without milk. February 20th at 8 a.m. Elijah is told to stand at the foot of Mr. Vang's bed and pray while the man takes a nap. This was the last known sighting of Elijah according to Mr. Vang's police testimony. On the 20th at 10:59, Two Rivers Police Department gets a call from Mr. Vang reporting Elijah missing. On the 20th at 1:37, police issue an appeal for help in finding Elijah, while an Amber Alert also goes out to the local community. Elijah is described, well, we don't need to go over that because that he may have been carrying that red and white plaid blanket, which they found later. February 20th, locals are asked to search out buildings, vehicles, and any other areas where Elijah may have become trapped or hidden. While police utilized drones and search dogs as part of their efforts, Jesse Vang is arrested on suspicion of child neglect that evening. February 21st, Katrina Bauer is arrested on suspicion of being party to crime child neglect. Search efforts continue across two rivers in Elijah's hometown. That's 23rd and then the 26th. They're searching a local landfill as part of the investigation. They appear in court again, Mr. Vang and Miss Bauer, received two additional charges of obstruction. The details of Mr. Vang's tactics emerge in court documents. February 27th, a week after Elijah's disappearance, police say there's still hope on bringing him home safely. Elijah's grandmother pled for help. 29th, Miss Bauer asked her bond to be changed so she could get out of jail. And they, I'm mad, sorry. Police say they have searched storm water drains as part of continued efforts to find Elijah, while volunteers in Fond du Lac have started searching the town, which sits between the two rivers in Wisconsin. In the fourth search in her third week, Two Rivers Police Department released photos of a beige 1997 Nissan Altima, asking for help in tracking its movements on February the 19th, the day before Elijah was reported missing. Law enforcement has possession of the vehicle. On the 7th, the two suspects appear in court with their dated charges announced from Miss Bauer. A statement from her mother is read out, asking for the judge not to let her daughter out of jail. Wow. The 14th, the judge rules that Miss Bauer will go to trial. Mr. Vang, which requests a speedy trial and an attorney. Miss Bauer's arraignment is scheduled for March 22nd. Then the 18th, police revealed they had positively identified a blanket found around 3.7 miles away from where Elijah was reported missing as belonging to the little boy. The search enters fifth week. I wonder how far that the blanket was from where they found his remains, whether it was still on the trail towards that area. Maybe we'll be able to find out soon. March 21st, Jesse Bang appears in court briefly via video link along with two new attorneys. Okay, so let's get out of that one. There's the police use the phone data to build timeline before a boy's disappearance. So I think this is important for us. Hello there. Good to see you. Thank you, Chris. Life in prison. That's right. Not getting out exactly. So let me put this on the audio setting.
Changing. If you're buying or selling, you'll want to have a trusted agent on your side to help understand what this means to you.
Meanwhile, Elijah's mother and her boyfriend are set to appear back in court later this week.
Preliminary hearing scheduled for Thursday for Katrina Bauer and Jesse Vang in Manitowoc County. Both face felony charges of child neglect. Just last week, investigators filed new charges against Bauer for her alleged actions involving another child of hers. Brittany Schmidt continues our team coverage by taking a closer look at her timeline and actions leading up to the disappearance of her son.
A lifelong resident.
On Monday, February 12th, Elijah Vue's mother, Katrina Bauer, met up with her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, in Fond du Lac to drop her 3-year-old son, Elijah, off with him. Vang took Elijah back to Two Rivers for disciplinary reasons to correct his supposed bad behavior. During that week, authorities say Bauer lied to police about her whereabouts twice. Her cell phone data proves it, they say, and gives investigators a clearer picture of her movement. On Tuesday, February 13th at about 9:30 p.m., Bauer messages Vang about meeting up for sex at his apartment in Two Rivers. Hours later, during the early morning hours of Wednesday, February 14th, Bauer arrives at Vang's apartment at about 2:35 a.m. According to the amended criminal complaint, she leaves her 6-year-old daughter, who has autism, in the car alone for about an hour when temperatures were near freezing. At 3:13 a.m., investigators say Bauer took a photo of Elijah lying on a bed. He had a, quote, blindfold over his eyes, appears to have bruising on his jawline and neck on the left side, as well as bruising on his upper left arm. The photo was deleted at about 4:12 a.m. Data shows Bauer leaving Two Rivers minutes after that. On Thursday, February 15th, a photo is shared on Facebook Messenger between Bauer and Vang. It shows Elijah wearing what appears to be a full diaper, standing in the corner with his hands in a praying position. On Friday, February 16th, Bauer told authorities she left Wisconsin Dells at about 6 or 7 that evening. Phone data shows she arrived in Manitowoc at about 11 p.m. Minutes later, she called Vang and stopped at Quick Trip. Around midnight, Bauer arrives at Vang's apartment. She told authorities she saw Elijah on the couch, but he was tired. On Saturday, February 17th at about 12:30 a.m., Bauer and Vang go to Manitowoc. Vang goes into Saucy's bar alone, while Bauer goes to Quick Trip. According to surveillance photos, police don't see a child in the vehicle. Police confirmed Bauer's 6-year-old daughter stayed in Wisconsin Dells, but Elijah was supposed to be in their care. At 1:55 a.m., Bauer and Vang go back to his apartment in Two Rivers. At 5 a.m., Bauer leaves Two Rivers and goes back to Wisconsin Dells. About 24 hours later, Sunday, February 18th, Vang messages Bauer at 4:36 a.m., telling her she needs to trust him in his decisions to discipline Elijah, saying, quote, "He did fear me, but he didn't respect me. Now I'm making him respect me." 2 days later, on February 20th, Vang calls 911 to report Elijah missing at about 11 a.m. 3 weeks later, he remains missing. I'm Brittany Schmidt for Action 2 News.
This poor little boy did not deserve this. So here is what to know about Elijah Vue, the boy who went missing in Two Rivers more than 200 days ago. This was published September the 9th, 2024. Here's the Elijah Vue Vigil. Two Rivers community hopes that missing boy will be found. Two Rivers holds candlelight vigil for missing Elijah Vue Saturday at Walsh Field. Following the discovery of human remains Saturday in Two Rivers, the public wonders if there is connection to 4-year-old Elijah Vue, who went missing in the city more than 6 months ago. So when he went missing, he was still 3 years old. His birthday was August the 25th, so he would have turned 4. So he passed away before he was ever had the birthday. Who went missing in the city more than 6 months ago. Authorities won't be able to identify the human remains until testing is complete, with the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office said it will be a lengthy process. Here's what to know about the case. Who is Elijah Vue? Elijah was 3 years old when he was reported missing, but the community celebrated his 4th birthday in his absence, August the 25th. Can y'all hear me okay? His mother, 31-year-old Katrina Bauer, lives in Wisconsin Dells and had Elijah stay with her boyfriend, 39-year-old Jesse Vang, in Two Rivers. An apartment complex in the 3900 block of Mishicot Road in Two Rivers was where 3-year-old Elijah Vue disappeared from, as seen September the 9th. Elijah was dropped off to stay with Bang at Bang's residence in the 3900 block of Mishicot Road February 12th and was supposed to return to his mother on February 23rd. Banks said he had assisted with Elijah's care and discipline on and off for about a month. Thank you, Eric. When did Elijah Vue disappear? Elijah was reported missing February 20th by Bang. He told police the last time he saw Elijah was around 8 a.m., February 20th, after Bank had ordered Elijah to stand next to Bank's bed and pray as a punishment. Bank said he fell asleep, and when he woke up, nearly 3 hours later, the boy was gone, and he called 911 to report him missing at 10:59 a.m. What followed was months-long search for Elijah by authorities and volunteers. But here is where the law enforcement, firefighters, and volunteers combed the Two Rivers area looking for traces of missing 3-year-old Elijah Vue, February 27th. On March 5th, Two Rivers Police Department said in a news release a vehicle they recovered, a 1997 four-door Nissan Altima, beige in color, bearing Wisconsin registration beginning with A and ending in O, was not owned by either Bauer or Vang. Police asked the public to check security camera footage for the vehicle between 2 and 9 p.m. February 19th. They said their interest is not with the current owner of the vehicle, only if the camera footage captured. On March the 18th, Two Rivers Police confirmed they had located a red and white plaid blanket belonging to Elijah earlier in the investigation on Goodwood Road, east of County B in Manitowoc County, about 3.7 miles away from the apartment building where Elijah went missing. Did they find Elijah Vue's body? The sheriff's office said in the news release September 8th, the human remains were discovered by a local deer hunter on private property in Two Rivers on Saturday. No specific information like race, gender, age, or the remains was provided, but the sheriff's office said testing would need to be done, and it was. So Diane O'Donnell, host of the O'Donnell Show on Newstalk 1130 Milwaukee, first reported in a post on X that a child's remains have been found September 7th. So let me go to the next thing. Here it is right here. Two Rivers Police confirmed the remains were found. This sweet little boy. This precious boy. Excuse me a minute. Let me put it back where y'all can hear the.
Studio 13 Live, a show that sounds as good as it looks.
This is so good.
With sounds so amazing, you can almost taste them. A favorite for foodies and other Northwest goodies. Weekday mornings on Fox 13.
Devastated. That is how the Two Rivers police chief describes his emotions as he confirms human remains found by a hunter last week are those of a missing 3-year-old.
Elijah Vue went missing in February. His mother and her boyfriend are in jail. Our Durante Matthews says they're not charged with the boy's disappearance yet.
It's not the outcome anyone was hoping for.
It's very sad. Young life.
Two Rivers Police announced Friday that human remains found last week in Manitowoc County belong to 3-year-old Elijah Vue.
The family's devastated. We're devastated. Our community's devastated.
The announcement even choking up Two Rivers' top cop.
Thank you. Sorry.
Police say Vue vanished from his mother's boyfriend's apartment on February 20th. They say on September 7th, a hunter preparing his property for the season found Vue's skull and bones in a wooded area near Manitou Drive, an area they've searched several times before and also about 3.5 miles from where he was originally reported missing.
I never met Elijah, but I watched that 3-year-old boy bring out the best in this community.
A community that's been holding on to a hope and a prayer for nearly 7 months for Vue's safe return.
Definitely not the way would have liked to have seen it, and children are precious.
Vue's mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, have been criminally charged with child neglect, but not for the boy's disappearance as of now.
I hope justice system makes this a point to people.
Elijah was a little guy, but he left a huge impact on all of us, and he will not be forgotten.
Now, police say Vue's case is now a death investigation. They say if you have any information on what may have happened to him, they want to hear from you right away. Reporting in Two Rivers, Durante Matthews, Fox 6 News.
Want to get your news in
So we had hoped and prayed, but sometimes it's too late. This is devastating, everyone. Please prayers, say prayers that actually cared about this little boy. I don't think the mama cared. I really don't. Because she didn't care for that girl, left her in the freezing car at that time. She didn't care knowing how violent he was. I'm sure he probably sent her a picture of him with a blindfold on. I speculate. Because why else would he take a picture of him blindfolded and his jaw and chin and all that be bruised up? It was devastating, and I think the mother needs charged as well because I believe she knew a lot more. I not only want him to fear me, I want him to respect me. I want him to make sure that he does not want to come back over here. Usually, what we say to kids about kids, we want the kids to come back over, right? We want to discipline them in the right ways. You don't go and abuse a child. You don't go and unalive a child. Murder. Thank you so much. Y'all continue prayers for the family, the friends, the police officers, even the guy that found his skull and everything. That's got to hit him hard, knowing that he was on his property. It's got to be devastating to him as well. So thank you, everyone, and may God bless you. Please hit the thumbs up.